course. But
Like
then
duct
we
tape
had,
that color.
yeah, that color. And then we had to like perfectly cover a monitor. Well, actually a bunch of them because it was like this was actually for like another cut, but it was like a wall of monitors of different shapes and stuff. Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, she was tricking us.
Good evening. Welcome to Nealshow Productions' production of Just Us Girls at the Jarvis Square Theater. My name is David Satterwhite, producer of this spectacle. Before we begin, I'd like to get a few things off my chest. 1, the performance will run about 95 minutes without an intermission. Should you need to go bathroom during the performance, please do so with caution and care, as the actors will use all available entrances. 2, we respectfully ask that you keep your mask affixed to your face such that it covers your mouth and nostrils during the entirety of your visit to the Jarvis Square Theater. 3, and finally, please silence your cell phone, tablet phone, small laptop, portable cassette player, sound-producing watch, and or pager device. Even if you think you've already silenced them, please double check. You may have silenced them incorrectly or be misremembered. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Is that you, Babyface? Be right with you. Hello. Ow!
What does the matter?
There is something hard in your jean jacket.
Yeah. Chad asked me to bring you your mail. He said you haven't checked your box in a few weeks and it's getting full. Some of these look like they could be bills, so.
Sorry, but who's Chet?
Your building's front desk attendant.
Oh, I see, Chet. I really go through the lobby because I drive, as you will know. I'll tell Chet thank you sometime when I see him. These are a lot of bills to me.
Are you doing okay?
Are you doing okay, Babyface?
Sure.
Sorry we haven't had much alone time since it all happened.
I've had a busy few days. Lorna's anxiety runners are useless. Tears and screams. I'm sure she'll turn it into a play we'll all have to endure and pretend to like.
I understand. Sorry I couldn't get more help, but the stands were so busy. Wow. Even in February, Chicagoans of legal drinking age love their adult lemonade.
I didn't mean to sound insensitive. I recognize that Lorna lost her husband to some maniac with a gun.
I didn't think you were being insensitive, babe. I'm amazed that you and Grease Clutches could step up and handle Frank's funeral arrangements while poor Lorna grieved in her own way. Let me take your coat. Oh, and by the way, I apologize for that crack I made about how Frank's coffin looked like it was constructed of shipping boxes from Amazon.com. I'm confident it was particle board construction. I appreciate the funeral's elegant simplicity. You know, Frank wouldn't have wanted you and Lorna to expend a significant portion of your inheritances on his funeral.
Yeah.
He'd want to know he's supporting you from the grave, from his grave to yours.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Make yourself comfortable while I go hang this in the closet.
All out of hell, I guess.
How's my beloved?
The night is only night until you have fear. Then it becomes darkness.
Can I fix your usual?
Not now.
Something beyond Frank's death is bothering you. Been acting weird all week.
I'm always weird.
Your mind is troubled.
My mind is untroubled.
Well, I'll give you space, but know I'm here for you. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of Sin Malbec.
This music is sick. Is this Coleman Zurkowski's newer album?
Obviously.
I have yet to listen to it, but his style is unmistakable.
How have you not listened to it yet? It dropped on Spotify on Tuesday.
And Frank dropped out on the sidewalk on Tuesday.
You could have played this at the wake. Frank loved Coleman Zurkowski.
Please don't ruin Coleman for me. I burped.
What? It's only 5 to 9. Lorna and her friend will be here for at least another 30 minutes. Because I told them they could stop by around 9:30.
Not in the mood, Sid.
I guarantee you'll feel better.
I had a session last night with the only client I allow to dominate me. Anymore. This man's name is Denning. I believe I told you about him. He did me the kindness of whipping my cunt to shreds, which I desperately needed, but I'm afraid I'll be out of commission for another day or two.
So you had a session after the wake. When I asked you to come over, you said you were going home to sleep.
I tried, but sleep didn't take.
And rather than call the love of your life, who you knew wanted to spend time with you, you had a last-minute session with a client whose name is Denning.
Don't get weird on me, babe.
I just want to understand why you didn't come to me.
I figured you were already asleep.
Denning, however, keeps late hours and is ready to play at a moment's notice. Huh? Huh?
He had contacted me earlier in the week to set up a session for late last night. I had told him I was busy, but I texted him and found him still available.
I wanted to comfort you. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm for. That's what this is.
Like I said, I wanted my cunt whipped to shreds.
I gladly would have whipped your cunt to shreds.
I needed a different approach.
Different approach?
You attack rather than dominate. You inflict discomfort as opposed to pain.
Well, you should demonstrate how you'd like me to do it sometime. You're the professional after all.
I usually appreciate your approach, but I was in the mood for Denning's approach last night. I'm grieving, so my carnal cravings are all over the map. I reckon it's not unlike how a person experiencing pregnancy craves raisin and pickle salad, or corn chowder with bacon grease, or canned fish on lettuce.
I know you're grieving. I understand it's an indeterminate process. What bothers me is not that you saw a client whose name is Denning, but that you didn't consider my needs. I don't have to remind you, you're not the only person in this partnership grieving Frank's death. I may not be mourning the loss of my brother or husband, but I am grieving the loss of my best friend of 20 years. I needed you last night.
Had you told me last night that you needed me, I would have readily left with you after the wake, but you didn't tell me that. You asked if I wanted to stay at your place so you could take care of me. The honest answer to that question was no. I want to go home and sleep.
Thought my need was implied.
Implied needs are drawn with fancy's pencil.
Fair point.
Is your offer to make me my usual still on the table?
Yes. Oh, wow, a smooch.
Please try to reverse out of your poor mood.
Why should I? I know how much you love to reprimand me.
Here's to reprimanding you.
You don't want to drink to Frank's memory.
God, fuck it, babe. I was inching toward the mood.
What deterred you?
Frank's memory.
Oh, discussions with your brother have never stopped you from getting turned on before, babyface.
Devoting so much of my time and energy this week to Frank Pereira, the NFT wizard, has been a fucking challenge.
But you loved your big bro.
Until he revealed himself to be a sanctimonious hypocrite.
How do you figure?
On Monday night, Frank found out about my actual line of work in a particularly embarrassing fashion. When he did, he spat in my face, called me a wicked temptress, told me I disgusted him to an unfathomable extent, and threatened to report my illicit and reprehensible activities to the competent authorities. His words.
Oh, my. The timing of your confrontation is unfortunate. Does that fruit bat Inspector Mungo know about this?
I didn't share it with Mungo. Maybe Lorna knew and told him, but I imagine you would have asked me about it had you known.
I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. Frank was undoubtedly an unintended victim of gang violence, along with a Japanese maple, a 24-hour bakery, and the sidewalk. I'm sure the police aren't even considering other possibilities.
I'm not worried.
You've received firearm training, so if you were trying to shoot Frank, you wouldn't have also hit a Japanese maple, a 24-hour bakery, and the sidewalk. A bang ganger was obviously aiming for someone inside the 24-hour bakery. I mean, think about it. Why does a bakery need to be open around the clock? Obviously, a front for human trafficking. There's nothing to worry about.
Honestly, not worried about it. And it's gang banger.
Oh, yeah, right. Did you kill him, though? Yes? Announce yourself, please.
Hey, it's Lorna.
Early for the first time in her life.
I wish I had.
Don't say that. We'll talk later, babyface.
I know my mind.
Be right with you. Well, hello. The doorman should have notified me before letting you up.
You mean the front desk attendant whose name is Chet?
Oh, yeah, Chet, I've heard of him.
Chet, newly from prior visits.
Hmm.
You're wearing fewer clothing articles than one would expect.
Yes, I'm obviously still dressing. It is true.
I'm just fucking your balls, Cyn. This is your home.
Oh, you. You're here earlier than I anticipated.
Well, the CTA goddess has blessed me by running my Brown Line train express on the way over.
How about that? How about that?
Hey, Alice.
Hello. Sup. Hi.
Oh, you know, battling fear to the death. You? Well, we just saw each other and I know what's up, so, anyway. There's something painfully hard in your jean jacket, by the way. Anti-hugging device?
Take a seat or don't. Your preference is my pleasure. I'm gonna go fish dressing.
Oh, why? You look great as is. Oh, Cyn,
Yeah?
on or off?
A little late to ask. Did you wipe them on the shoe mat?
Of course I wiped them on the shoe mitt. There's wet on the outside ground. I wasn't reared under Dillard's bridge.
Well, in that case, you can leave them on so long as you promise not to get them all over the furniture.
Ha! Promise. Ha!
I will hold you to it.
If only she knew I was on the bottom of my Dr. Martens.
What's on the bottom of your Dr. Martens, Alice?
All kinds of crap.
Dear Ferryboat, I've arrived at Cynthia's condo in the Gold Coast, 1300 North Lakeshore Drive, apartment 32A. Alice is here. I'll find out if we're expecting anyone else. Let me know when you're on your way from meeting with attorney Joan Dolphin. All the best, Lorna.
Cute sweater.
I know, right? Hey, what happened to that actor friend who was creeping on me at the funeral reception?
You mean Ferryboat? Ferryboat wasn't creeping.
Just seeing the way Ferryboat looked at me.
She always looks like that. It is a medical condition.
Thought she was coming with you.
She had a prior engagement. She may drop by later.
Can't wait. Can I fix you anything to drink?
Yes, please. Oh, speaking of, I brought a bottle of Pale Crow white whiskey.
in for serious hard seltzers.
Oh, which old barn owl?
Oh, the 10-year-old whiskey.
Oh, fancy. We serve that at the Filthy Lizard for $30 a pour.
Well, when you own a fruitful business, you can drink nice whiskey.
Oh.
Not sure why you're laughing. I do run a fruitful business.
Oh, I'm not laughing at that. I was laughing at your pun.
My what?
Your fruitful business is a chain of adult lemonade stands.
Right.
Well, a lemon is a fruit.
Okay.
I'll stick with Pale Crow.
Fine. Reject my kindness. I'll have Malbec. Refill, Alice?
Nuh-uh.
Okay. Don't be shy.
Sin Malbec.
Maybe you've seen me.
Oh, I've heard that's pretty good.
So good, so smooth.
Nice.
You don't serve sin at the Lizard's Hole?
The Filthy Lizard, more of a whiskey bar.
Oh, nice. Ice?
Yes, at the Filthy Lizard we do serve ice upon request.
I meant, do you want ice in your Pale Crow?
Oh, absolutely not.
Suit yourself. Ha!
You gonna leave any room for the Malbec?
Oh, Lorna, you and your goofs.
You know me. Incidentally, don't bother measuring mine. Just fill up one of those lowball glasses about halfway.
All right. Well, I may not be a mixologist like yourself, but these should do us the trick and get us all nice and loosey-goosey.
To Frank. Real shit. Man.
Yes, to Frank. Yes, 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 goes down like water.
Well, better with all the water you put in it.
I say much, lol.
Just stating the obvious. Please ignore me.
Please save the witticisms and banter for the writer's room, okay? Barely 10 hours have passed since we covered your husband, Alice's brother, and my best friend in worm-filled earth. We are sad, mourning, and in no mood for laughter.
Laughter doesn't alleviate your sadness.
You can't laugh your way through life's darker moments, can you?
You doing okay?
How have I been?
Yes, as you just said, we just finished burying my husband, Alice's brother, and your best friend.
Well, obviously it's been hard. Been a few occasions since Frank's murder, including one early this evening on my way home from the reception when I've started to send him a text about something random and then it hits me. He's dead.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, please tell me more about how you feel.
Yeah, thanks. His death has not yet found permanent housing in my mind. Sometimes in bed, I'll reach for him, pull him close, hold him tight, and start kissing his neck and back.
So you realize he's not there.
Well, eventually, yes. When my mouth is full of cat hair, I realize I have not been snuggling and smooching Frank, but rather our cat, whose name is Emily. Emily Cat.
That is so gross.
I've spent many nights unintentionally making out with my cat. His name is Old Gray. Old Gray Cat.
Well, Gray's a cutie. If they were my cat, I might spend many nights intentionally making out with them.
I'd be lying if I said that didn't happen too.
You two are so gross. Cats carry parasites.
A little parasite never hurt anyone.
That's obviously not true.
Of course not, Cynth. The parasite will suck the life out of you without remorse. I was just kidding.
Joking.
Did our silly cat talk momentarily distract you from grief?
No. Now I'm just concerned I have a parasite.
Don't freak out. You don't even have a cat. You haven't been making out with Alice or me.
This sin is so good.
Is Alice speaking through you?
What? Oh, no. Ha!
Let's see if Ferryboat is en route.
How do you know motorboat?
Ferryboat.
Sure.
DTS.
Is that venereal disease?
DePaul Theater School.
Exactly. By the way, are we expecting anyone else?
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
No. Just Ferryboat whenever she wraps up this mysterious prior engagement of hers.
Great.
Would you like more company? Oh, is our grieving boring you? Oh, no.
No, not at all. Quite the opposite. This is such a chill vibe.
People know when you're lying.
I wasn't lying. I was being liberal with the truth.
Oh, more side splitters from the writer's room. So is she on her way?
Let's see. I got an email from her.
An email?
She doesn't do text.
Why not?
She's an old-fashioned guy.
Guy?
Dear Lorna, much obliged for the update. I'm at a fine tavern hole called Chimmy's Bar, hereafter referred to as Chimmy's, at the intersection of Milwaukee and Grand Avenues in the West Loop neighborhood. Chimmy's is a dream come true for a gumshoe like me. Cheap whiskey, songs from bygone eras, e.g. Italo-American crooners, what's known as classic rock, 80s party time, and no smoking ban. I'm going through my pack of Big Bear 1318s like there's no tomorrow. And there might not be.
So is he on his way? She. Just called Ferryboat an old-fashioned guy, so...
I said she's an old-fashioned guy, meaning she has the personality of a guy who is old-fashioned, not that she identifies as an old-fashioned male.
So is she on her way?
Still making my way through her longer email.
As the kind of gal who likes her whiskey strong, cheap, and gross, I'm eternally grateful to attorney Joan Dolphin for suggesting we meet here. Otherwise, I might never have walked through its doors. Or did it walk through mine? That brings me to the purpose of my message. Attorney Dolphin is running late. The lady apparently takes public transit, which is weird to me. Never knew an attorney to take public transit. I'll let you know when I'm en route. No public transit for this private dick. I'll take a taxi to evade the horrors of the city at night. Kindest regards, Ferryboat. P.S. I'm bringing a unique sour snack. Winking face emoji.
She suspects she'll be wrapping up her prior engagement shortly.
I don't understand why she sent such a long email. Why communicate so much information in an email when she said she'll see you shortly?
Well, Ferryboat is verbose. She can't simply say I'm at such and such location and will be on my way soon. She has to say I'm at such and such location and the decor is of this style and the atmosphere is characterized by this and that and the jukebox plays this style of music and so on and so forth.
Verbosity is not an ideal quality in a playwright.
You are correct, Cynth, but Ferryboat isn't a playwright, she's an actor.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'll send a casual affirmation.
Oh, make sure she has the address.
Chimmy's is a dive bar. See you soon. By the way, I confirmed that we're not expecting anyone else. Kindest, Lorna.
Well, back to fun. Oh, child demon, why did you take him so soon?
And so dishonorably! Caught in gangland crossfire outside the 24-hour bakery!
Well, that's one theory, but the investigation is ongoing.
That's obviously what happened.
We shouldn't make conclusions at this point.
Here's a conclusion for you. People of Frank's caliber shouldn't die that way.
No one should, but death never behaved chivalrously.
Well put.
Sure, but people like Frank tend not to die that way because they tend not to live in neighborhoods like Albany Park.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, come on, Lorna.
Well, please explain what you mean by that.
Albany Park is a bad neighborhood.
Albany Park is a great neighborhood.
Pedestrians aren't indiscriminately shot in the Gold Coast.
Thought you said he was caught in the crossfire.
What's the difference? His death was senseless and avoidable.
Well, it was senseless, but please explain to me how it was avoidable.
Had Frank not been forced to move to Albany Park, he would have avoided the bullet and therefore his death.
Why don't you abandon your innuendos and implications and choose to speak plainly?
I'm just quite simply stating facts.
More like conjectures than facts.
Death issued a warrant for Frank's life.
What's your theory if you won't believe the hypothesis that he was caught in a shootout between rival gangbangs?
If the investigation determines that Frank inadvertently caught a bullet meant for someone else, I will accept that version of events. But until then, I will remain unprejudiced.
I don't care what Inspector Cale Mungo told you today at the funeral. The investigation isn't ongoing and it isn't going on. The police will never find evidence. They'll never uncover the gangbanger's identity, let alone apprehend them. But the police know what happened, and they know a bullet will eventually find said gangbanger if it hasn't already.
Maybe a gangbanger shot him. Maybe a disgruntled youth shot him. Maybe he shot himself and threw the gun down the sewer to hide his suicide and preserve his access into heaven. Maybe an NFT rival shot him. Maybe a former partner shot him. Maybe you shot him. Maybe Alice shot him. Maybe I shot him.
I don't know what you expect the investigation to achieve because its outcome won't change the outcome of the shot. My best friend, your husband Alice's brother, is dead.
I expected to achieve justice.
My glass is empty.
The usual?
Yeah.
You have a usual at Cynthia's bar?
Obviously. Alice is my best friend's kid sister, meaning she's basically my kid sister, especially since I don't have a kid sister and she doesn't have a big brother, only a big, sorry kid sister. Shit.
We drink together sometimes.
Nice. So what's your usual?
Sin Malbec.
Turned her on to it myself.
Do you also take it buried in ice?
Ice. Ice is cold.
Well, if you do it right.
I'm opening this window.
Be my guest. Dear friends, it's winter.
I want my sin cold, but unadulterated by ice.
Logical. Inefficient, but logical.
Speaking of ice, I'm gonna go refill the bucket.
Alice. We should find some time to talk. Preferably before we meet with attorney Joan Dolphin on Friday.
What is there to discuss?
What happened between you and Frank on Monday night?
If you know what happened, then I'm sure you can appreciate that I do not want to discuss it.
Well, I don't know exactly what happened. Frank didn't give me many details. But there's something I need to share with you.
Gabby!
Oh, good. This music is sick. Is this Coleman Zurkowski's newer album?
Obviously.
I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but his style is unmistakable.
How have you not listened to it yet? It dropped on Spotify on Tuesday.
Frank dropped out on the sidewalk on Tuesday.
Well, you still have time for Coleman Zurkowski. Your pallid crap.
Ah, perfect. There is whiskey in this glass. Thank you. There's snow in the forecast tonight.
So they're saying.
We could use some
We could use some what?
snow.
How do you tolerate this cold? It's kind of weird.
Let the cold in and the fear out.
Don't grief shame.
I'm not trying to shame anyone. You know what? You're right. We all deserve to grieve in our own way. I'm gonna grieve in an extra sweater, for instance.
Talk about acting weird.
I'm as weird as they come. I'm not accustomed
Oh,
to
man.
experiencing so much weirdness from you two. Before you accuse me of weird shaming, sorry I mentioned it.
Do you need another drink, Lorna? Yes, sir.
Now I need another drink.
Yeah, you want to hand me your glass or?
My usual, please.
Garbage, pale crow, or whatever?
You bet your sweet puckered hole.
Mm.
I'm gonna make water.
Oh, I'll happily fetch you a bottle of spring water.
I mean, I'm going to use the girls' room.
Oh, the powder room. You want to utilize the powder room.
If we must, yes, I am going to utilize the powder room.
Don't bother with the powder room.
I need to bother with it.
You should use my private bathroom. It's much, much, much more comfortable.
I've never been there.
It's in my bedroom. Next to a closet, there's a toilet in it.
Don't worry, I won't take a piss in your closet.
Send her far so we could talk.
I noticed.
Hey, Sid?
What?
Is there a fan in here?
Yes, it's a switch just to the message chest. Why do you ask?
You're squandering our occasion to talk.
I know, but my little wifey poo is so fucking cute. Mwah. So, tell me more about Monday night. How did Frank find out you work as a pro dom?
Oh boy. Way to dry me right up. Did you know Frank frequented sex workers?
No, that's not something he shared with me.
Well, he did. He only saw pro doms.
Hey, marital commitments aside, there's no shame in that.
Right. Although I don't think Lorna knows.
You think he found your website? Your face is well obscured in all the photos. I mean, even I wouldn't know Goddess Monica was you, and I've seen you in some of those outfits.
Unbeknownst to me, Frank had been seeing a friend of mine who goes by the name Goddess Lillian. Her real name is Candy. He had asked Candy to bring another dom to their next session because he wanted to be used as a human toilet, and toilets typically accommodate multiple users. For voracity.
And she brought Goddess Monica.
Yes, ma'am. When Candy let our client into the play space and I saw it was Frank, I started cracking up because I found it fucking hilarious.
And he found it less fucking hilarious?
Much less. He turned into a prepubescent monster, man-prancing around the room and projecting his shame upon me. Under the spell of a second infancy, he condemned me for being the purveyor of sin. The brother I loved and respected. The brother I trusted with my highest pleasures and deepest fears. The brother who had effectively raised me after thieves brutally murdered our adoptive octogenarian parents on Christmas time night exposed himself as a self-righteous, misogynistic hypocrite. I refused to respond to the man-boy frothing at the mouth before me. Not that I had anything to say, no actions or words to defend, no choices to explain. His final words were, "You're not my sister, you're a siren, and I never want to see you again. I hope you crumble under the weight of your own evil." His words.
The fuck? Did he hurt you physically?
I was concerned about that possibility. Fortunately, Candy managed to wrangle him and told him she'd call the police if he didn't leave. So he left. We waited a while and Candy drove me home. We snuggled up with old gray cat and a bottle of Malbec and watched The Secret Diary of a Nymphomaniac.
Heart-wrenching, terrifying, comforting, true classic.
On Tuesday, I was on my way to Frank's to express my opinion of him with language most direct and colorful when Lorna texted me the news he had been killed. I spent the rest of the week pretending to be upset over Frank's death. No, I was upset over its occurrence, over the timing, not its occurrence. I'm tickled to bits, Frank's dead. I'm just pissed I'll never have the pleasure of telling him to tear off his own pecker and boink himself in every available orifice.
I have no idea what to say in response.
You don't have to say anything. He may have disinherited me.
Think Frank wrote you out as well?
Yeah.
Why? What? How? That prick?
Babe, settle.
Nice bathroom.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Thanks.
I could hear you peeing, Lorna.
Well, it won't be the last time tonight.
There's a last time for everything.
Synth? Synth. Cynthia Pooh!
Cynthia.
Oh, yes. Hi, can I help you?
Lorna's trying to get your attention.
Hi, can I help you?
You were gonna pour me another glass of pale Crow.
Oops, guess I forgot.
Well, I won't tell if you won't. What a lovely sound, Synth.
I will only pour you another pale crow if you stop trying out one-liners for your next play on us.
I don't know what you're talking about, even.
I know you're playwright, creative type, comedian thing or whatever, but I will not have you using us as a test audience for your jokes. Just talk normally like a normal person.
I am interacting with you the same way I interact with every other person on the planet's face.
Well, it's annoying.
So you told me.
Never
Many
met anyone
times.
else who talks like that.
You never met anyone else with a sense of humor?
Oh, I know many hilarious people, all right? I love to banter.
Oh, you love to banter.
And sarcasm, I am great at doing sarcasm.
Oh, you sure are.
I will have you know, people find me very funny. People tell me that my life should be a reality TV show.
Ooh, reality TV show about a single middle-aged lesbian who owns and operates a successful chain of adult lemonade stands. Will she find love? Will she expand her offerings to include adult limeade? Will she get to banter? Sounds really great.
Still sounds better than your last play.
You didn't even see another slice.
Better off for it.
May I pour my own drink?
No, I've got it. What's it you want again?
Pale Crow white whiskey. Neat. Neat is code for no ice. You better fill her up too. I don't want to keep troubling you for another sip of whiskey every 15 minutes. You're gonna make it this difficult.
Show more respect for your hostess.
You could show some more respect for the widow of your freshly buried best friend. Got an email from Ferryboat.
Dear Lorna, I hope this email finds you hot and healthy. I wrapped up my meeting with attorney Dolphin and am now freezing my little lady tits off outside Cynthia's apartment complex. It was an enlightening meeting, to say the least. I'll tell you all about it if you come down cool and easy. Tell your hostess and sister-in-law that I require a cigarette to not arouse their suspicion. Know what I mean? Plus, I require a cigarette. I could also use some warmer outerwear, truth be told, but it would be weird if you brought any down. Just a cigarette will do. The small tobacco fire in my mouth should stay hypothermia long enough for us to talk about the very enlightening conversation I had with attorney Dolphin. Hope to see you soon. Warmest, Ferryboat.
Another longer email.
I gather she's outside.
Well, I'll go tell Chester, the front doorman, or whoever the fuck it is down there, that's okay to allow the predatory lesbian in the blazer to come on up. Chet. It's February. What the fuck is she doing in a blazer? A blazer only.
What the fuck are we doing with the window open?
Your point is well taken.
I'll go collect her. She wanted me to bum her a cigarette first.
You'll want your coat.
Yes, especially now knowing that you coat shame. I know you're mourning, but we should find some time to sneak into the kitchen and chat.
No.
All right. Here. Be back in 5 or 8 minutes.
Tell Chester I say hello.
His name is Chet.
Why are you so anxious?
I'm being sweet.
You're only smooshy when you're anxious.
Alice.
Yes, babe face.
When Frank was freaking out like a man boy after realizing that he had hired his sister to use him as a human toilet, did he tell you that he disinherited you or that he intended to disinherit you?
He intended to, because a vaginal beast only requires cum in her billfold, and anyone with a cum-filled billfold doesn't deserve an association with the NFT wizard. His words.
Well, he was murdered fewer than 24 hours later, so
What are you driving at?
he would have needed more time to amend as well.
I don't know. I forgot I even said anything about it until Lorna pulled me aside earlier and said she wanted to talk to me about something before we meet with Frank's attorney. His name is Joan Dolphin next Friday. I assume she wants to tell me Frank wrote me out of his will.
Amending a will is more complex than just opening up a Word doc and making a few edits. He would have had to schedule time with Attorney Dolphin to discuss the changes. She would have then had a drafted addendum for his review, which could have resulted in a round or 2 of changes. Finally, Frank would have had to sign it before 2 witnesses. I doubt Frank even had time to get on Attorney Dolphin's calendar that last minute.
I think he was Attorney Dolphin's sole client.
Even if Frank executed that addendum, you have options.
I don't want a penny of the NFT wizard's fortune.
Don't be silly. Frank wanted to support you from the grave, from his grave to yours.
You made it crystal clear he has no interest in taking care of me. For I am a vaginal beast, and this vaginal beast has no interest in being taken care of by a fucking hypocrite from the grave or otherwise.
I'm sure he didn't mean it. He was just reacting in fear. He was merely upset by the realization that he might have consumed your poo. What if Goddess Lillian already had him restrained and blindfolded with his head underneath a fetish toilet before you arrived? You could have strolled in, not recognized the client as your brother, and shit down his sorry throat. That's how the affair might have transpired. Frank knew that, and that's why he was freaking out like a man boy. Frustration and disgust led to him misplacing his rage that night, which he would have realized had he not been murdered the next day. A brown shower gone awry is not enough to undo your bond. Know what I mean?
I know we were close, Synth. Orphaned by a pair of cannibals. Adopted by a sweet octogenarian couple brutally murdered by thieves on Christmas time night. I lived it.
Shared trauma creates indestructible bonds.
Fear can destroy the indestructible.
We need to find out if Frank executed that addendum, because if he did, we need to act swiftly.
Babe, you refuse to listen. For the final time, I do not want that inheritance. Would you?
You say that now as you process the other night because it feels important. No, necessary for you to remain true to your values. However, the day will show up on our stoop when you'll wonder for whom you're performing your principles and where they put your cookie, ribbon, and plaque. When that day comes, you'll wish you had your share, your deserved share of that inheritance. Not despite how Frank treated you before his death, but because of it. A gangbanger might have force-fed Frank the last supper of lead before you had the chance to rebuke him, but you can still disgrace his memory by dishonoring his final wishes and taking what he took from you.
Maybe you're right.
Motivation is the key to the door of truth.
Alice, Cynthia, it's Lorna and Ferryboat.
See if you can afford Lorna and me a few minutes alone.
Means I'll have to spend a few more minutes alone with this even weirder lady who obviously has a thing for me.
I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Keep your Christ fucking trousers on! We're grieving in here!
Just a minute, Lorna, there are tears!
Fears are the sweet fruit of darkness. Fears, not fears. Oh.
Are you giving me permission to figure something out?
Yes, and you can fuck her if that's what it takes.
Oh, goody.
Big tidings of the child demon.
Good tidings!
Yes! Good tidings!
Alice, Cynthia, this is my friend whose name is Ferryboat. Not sure if y'all met at the funeral.
No, we didn't. She should have introduced herself before fucking me with her eyes for 20 minutes, but better late than never.
You're right. Ferryboat. Pleasure.
Cynthia.
Your skin is tight.
Sure.
So, if she's Cynthia, you must be Alice, am I right?
Whoa. Lorna said you were an actor, but she must have meant private detective.
I am not a detective, private or otherwise, I'm an actor.
I know. I was speaking with sarcasm.
Sarcasm is the language of fear.
Yes. I'm Alice.
Pleasure.
We did meet briefly in the bathroom.
Right, that's right. We were going bathroom together in stalls side by side. Alice, perhaps constipated, was taking her sweet time, whereas I was in and out, having enjoyed a fibrous breakfast, as is my tradition. So we had but a moment to chat as we exercised our waist.
The griever's constipation.
Well, now that we've completed the usual compliments of introduction, I'd like to point out that it's nearly as cold in here as it is outside. That's because the window's open. Griever's hot flash.
I see you're still in your funeral best.
Yes, I had no time to change after the funeral, but don't worry, my funeral wear is comfortable enough. Comfortable enough for now.
Yeah, Lorna told us you had a prior engagement.
Yes, I had a prior engagement that left me with no time for an outfit change.
Hot day?
Yes, it was. It was a date. A hot one. The date.
Kind of an odd choice to have a date immediately after the funeral of your best friend's husband.
Well, she's just new in town and trying to meet people, Cyn.
Listen, I may crumble to bits, but I only require my own 10 fingers to pick up the pieces and a little stick of glue to put them back in proper order. You are an embarrassment to yourself and me. I care primarily about the latter.
I beg your sincere pardon.
Granted. Anyway, I agree with you, Cynthia. Scheduling a lover's tryst immediately following a loved one's partner's funeral is in poor form, to say the least. Still, this date was, as you so delicately put it, a hot one. The date. I feel I can freely admit that because it's just us girls. Finding love is a challenge no matter where you are, but you haven't got a sailor's chance of finding love in the dirty, unrepentant city called Chi-Town. My ex-wife, whose name is Sangland, is proof of that. Still, I thought I had found it when I regained consciousness in this shabby little rat hole of a bar called the Filthy Lizard. Not sure if you're familiar with it. They have a waterfall.
Right, the whiskey bar where Lorna works.
Yes, you're correct. The proprietor, whose name is Paul Radke, has a bevy of gorgeous broads working in that joint, but none more stunning than the lovely Lorna Pereira, knee green.
Well, you're making me blush to such an extent that my skin is about to melt off my skull.
Do not drip any melted skin on my couch.
Not even once.
I was drinking a bourbon, cider chaser, when this man with great abs, a handsome face, and a head full of testosterone-fueled male pattern baldness approached me with a hello. I responded in kind. This hot fella of roughly 43, whose name was Maurice Dancer, stared me in the nostrils and said, I like the presentation of your face bones. If I may, I am physically attracted to you. Emotional attraction may or may not follow. May I buy you another bourbon and cider? I told him I was drinking Young Barn Owl 2-year-old bourbon and Swimmy's hard cider. Traditional favorites through and true, but neither one of them is good. I gave his cleft chin a little lick. And I told him that if he fancied my face bones, he would buy me a better bourbon with a beer chaser. Like a craft beer with a crudely drawn animal on the label. He said that he would do just that, but on another occasion, as he was a day shy of his next paycheck and couldn't afford anything finer at present. I said that I would buy my own bottom shelf bourbon and gross cider, but that he was free to do so on another occasion, which brings us to
What's with the tray of lemons?
Oh, how foolish of me to stand here pumping words out my face without presenting my contribution to the potluck supper to our kind hostess. It's a tray of lemons. Maybe an appetizer? Maybe a dessert? Maybe both? That's what makes lemons so great. More than enough. More than enough to share.
This isn't a potluck supper. What even gave you that idea? We had dinner at the reception. I saw you shoving 3 hot dogs down your throat simultaneously.
No buns, though.
Yeah.
In that case, I brought a snack. If we get hungry, I'll order sarpanus.
Did you pick these up at the White Hen Pantry or something?
I swear on my father's cross, these are the finest lemons in China.
No. These are definitely convenience store lemons.
You're pretty knowledgeable in the field of lemons.
Synth is in the lemon business.
Oh, you don't say. I had no notion of that.
Yes, I am the founder and CEO of Lemonade Lust. It's a prominent chain of adult lemonade stands around the city.
Is that so? I happened to pass by Lemonade Lust as I toured the north side the other night. The logo piqued my curiosity and, quite frankly, turned me on. Judging by your hot fig, I reckon you were the model.
Yeah, that was me. Glad you like the logo and my hot fig.
Google search didn't indicate that Lemonade Lust was a chain. I thought there was only one location. Or am I wrong?
Well, you obviously ran your Google search incorrectly. Now, did you hack up these lemons with a key or just tear them apart with your teeth like an animal?
If you don't quit fucking my balls, sugar tits, I'll give you something to write home to your mom about.
I ain't got a mom.
Ooh.
I think I'll go rinse off these corner store lemons. Care to join me, Ferryboat?
Oh, please, miss, call me Ferryboat.
Care to join me, Ferryboat?
Well, I'd be a fool to turn down a free lesson in lemon preparation from Ms. Lemonade Lust herself.
Who said anything about being free?
Your friend's a real character.
Yeah, I fucking love that bitch.
It's no mystery why.
You guys are
Listen to them in the kitchen. Do you hear it? The giggling.
You'd think they were in a writer's room. Thank you for your laughter. Let's move on.
You made me.
Aren't you too warm, so far away from the open window?
Well, they're occupied rinsing lemons. I thought we'd talk.
Oh, Alice, forget I mentioned it. We don't need to talk about it tonight of all nights. I shouldn't have even proposed it earlier.
It's fine. I'm sorry I reacted hostilely. This week has been challenging. Tell me what you wanted to talk about.
Apology is unnecessary. The matter is trivial.
You said you had something important you wanted to share before we meet with Attorney Dolphin next week.
Yes. Right, but they'll be done rinsing lemons soon, and it's really not a topic we want to discuss on the sly, so let's just leave it to next week.
I think they've progressed past rinsing lemons. You dig?
I dig. Does that bother you?
I want to lick the flesh from your bones!
Why would it bother me?
Well, it's very apparent you and Cynthia are somehow involved, although the extent of your involvement is unclear.
It's not obvious, huh? It doesn't bother me. We're both free to involve ourselves with others. Now, please, satisfy my curiosity. What in the name of Christ's pepper did you want to tell me?
You know how Frank's voice got rather weird when he was feeling weak, persecuted, or otherwise overcome with fear?
Do I ever? I do.
He came home late Monday night after allegedly having supper with a potential NFT buyer at Ranker's Steakhouse. Well, question whether that was the case, since he also said he saw you. Unless you were the potential NFT buyer.
I briefly saw Frank on Monday night. Whether he had been to Rank or Steakhouse prior to our encounter, I cannot say.
When he was with you, did he consume any martinis containing olives stuffed with blue cheese and cocaine?
No one has ever done that in my presence. Why?
Usually when he comes home late, he would immediately pass out on the couch, but he was full of energy, just ranting and raving like a child demon about you and Cynthia.
Me and Cynthia, our involvement?
Well, I don't think he knew about it. I mean, he wasn't making much sense, but I didn't get the impression that his grievances against you and Cynthia were related. He was going off about Cynthia wanting to milk his bank account bone dry, and you being a temptress, his iniquity knows no bounds. His words.
Interesting grievances.
Never thought I'd hear him utter an unkind word against his only blood relative.
Did Frank owe Cynthia money?
She owed him money. Over the years, he's invested in her entrepreneurial endeavors, but last June, he gave her a substantial loan to help maintain Lemonade Lust. Based on the recent closure of 2 of the 3 locations, I doubt she was making the payments. She may have even asked for more money. I think they've progressed past rinsing lemons, you dig?
I literally just said that moments ago. But please, go on.
Well, I had many questions, but couldn't utter much more than, oh? Maybe got out of no way, but nothing more substantive than that. Eventually, he just passed out on the kitchen floor with our cat, whose name is Emily.
Emily Cat!
When I woke up Tuesday morning, he was already gone. I planned to straddle him and force him to explain himself, but he died before returning home, before I could ask questions.
Is that what you wanted to tell me?
Well, that was just context.
Thanks for the context. Let's move on to the point.
Ferryboat's date with Maurice Dancer didn't result in an orgasm, from what we know, but her boink fest with Cynthia is resulting in several, sounds like.
Lorna, dear, you're what's known as stalling.
Nice. Is it safe to assume Frank discovered your true line of work?
You knew I wasn't a full-time candlestick maker?
Been a bartender at the Filthy Lizard for 8 years. I know the true lines of work of most people in this city.
When Frank introduced us, you recognized me from the film? Are we still in the context portion of the conversation?
Yes, we are. Didn't you recognize me from the filth?
Fair. Well, thanks for never telling Frank I was a pro-dom.
I would never violate the bartender's code of ethics. Plus, I had a hunch that Frank wouldn't appreciate the value of sex work or grasp your reasons for choosing it. I gather I was correct?
Yeah, you were.
For the love of fuck's anus! I will suck your weird, tasty holes dry!
Do you know how he found out?
I'm not sure exactly. He was distraught when he confronted me in my apartment. Like your interaction with him later that night, I couldn't chime in with questions or responses. He just listened to and chastised me and hung up self-righteous loogies. I assume a friend of his consorts with sex workers recognized me in an ad and told him.
Al Crosby. Al Crosby was behaving oddly at the funeral, sheepishly hiding behind the casket and refusing to take his jacket off inside and so on.
That's how Al Crosby always behaves.
I know. I was attempting humor. Once again, only attempting. When troubled, Frank's mind could conjure up all manner of fantasies and fabrications, which made him difficult from time to time. It's also what made him so good at NFTs.
Right? The NFT wizard made a fortune off his NFT sales. I guess we'll be, what's the phrase? Sitting pretty.
We must be cautious with regard to anal leakage.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm sorry, I've been beating around the bush all night, just beating it raw bone all night long.
Very true.
During the end of his rant, Frank said that he would go to see Attorney Dolphin first thing Tuesday morning to amend his will by making me the sole beneficiary.
By removing me as a co-primary beneficiary, in other words.
In other words, yes. But I'm telling you, he wasn't himself when he made this decision. His mind was distorted.
Did he amend it before his death?
Yes. To an extent.
Wow. Glad you told me before our meeting next week. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time about all the context. It was, I suppose, necessary. Wait. To an extent?
Frank, at the suggestion of Attorney Dolphin, changed you from co-primary beneficiary to a contingent beneficiary rather than disinherit you.
Meaning?
Meaning, you will only receive an inheritance if I predecease you or am otherwise incapacitated. May I refill you? There's something else.
More good news?
Attorney Dolphin believes you murdered Frank to collect your inheritance before he could amend the will. She shared this information in theory with Inspector Mungo. It seems Attorney Dolphin also thinks very little of your profession.
Despite having been a regular client at a time.
Really?
She got too weird on me. As our sessions progressed, she started topping from the bottom. She wanted to roleplay the murder scene from Torso, where the killer stalks a victim in the woods, with me playing the victim, which I wasn't having.
Well, I don't know what that means, but that could be how Frank found out you work as a pro dom.
Could be. Do you agree with Attorney Dolphin's theory?
What theory?
Her theory that I killed Frank.
Lemonade last is a challenge and a treasure. Glass of pale crow, no ice, quick as you can. So, lice. Synth told me during pillow talk that you and she are entangled romantically.
Don't call me lice.
I'll call you what I call you. I don't have room in my memory bank to store the gratuitous name preferences of everyone I meet. Catch me?
It's not a gratuitous preference.
I knew you'd come around to my side of the barn. Given your entanglement, how much do the sex acts in which we just partook within earshot bother you on a scale of 1 to 10? With 1 meaning it doesn't bother you in the faintest, and 10 meaning you'll kill me the first chance you get.
She doesn't mind.
I'm covered head to toe in your opinion. I want lices.
I don't mind. Synth is free to partake in any sex act she pleases with any partner she chooses. As am I.
Well, I'm spent right now, but I appreciate the offer.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I do not find pouting even slightly attractive. Not at all. If you want my juices to regenerate quickly, you'll try to remember that. By the by, there's something hard in your jean jacket.
Where did those lemons get off to?
They're on the bar.
Yummy.
Those lemons are not good,
I
Babyface.
have no intention of taking one.
You told me that in bed. No need to repeat the criticism.
I was obviously talking to Alice. I was warning Alice.
I don't know why that's obvious.
I said Babyface, not Ferryboat.
We are in the warm, fuzzy aftermath of a significant exchange of fluids. For the next, 53 minutes, you're more likely to think of me and, more to the point, the sex acts we just performed to call me Babeface.
I'm already over our sex performance.
Maybe you should pop fewer Xannies and your brain will retain experiences a while longer. Some things are worth remembering.
I don't get her. She doing a bit, Lorna?
Nope. She's just uncommon.
Seems to me like she's doing a bit right now. Like she's performing a supporting role on Chicago. Who gives a fuck?
I'm not doing a bit. Ferryboat Branton doesn't do bits.
But you're an actor.
One of the finest. What's your point?
Don't actors do bits?
Listen, Lemonade Lust, we may have just engaged in some pretty alright coitus, but I will not hesitate to speak my mind's eye straight through my jawbone into your ear canal, okay? Comedians do bits. Radio announcers do bits. Improvisers do bits. DJs do bits. Hosts of television programs do bits. Politicians occasionally do bits to curry favor with their constituents. Some musicians do bits on stage between numbers to allow themselves time to tune their instruments. Actors, however, do not do bits. Actors explore truth and fantasy. I did not pay the DePaul Theater School $150,000 to learn how to do bits.
I'm so sorry. Let me rephrase my question. Are you exploring truth and fantasy right now?
That's better.
Oh.
No, I'm just uncommon.
Losers are common and you're as common as any of them.
Hey, look in my face and say that to me again like you mean it.
Are you threatening me?
I was targeting intimidating, not threatening, but take your pick and I'll oblige.
There are two types of people in this world. The winners, like me, who are successful, and the losers, like you, who feed off the winners like leeches. Losers are more common than winners, needless to say, so you're more common than I am. You may be unpolished, but you're not uncommon.
You've got it wrong, but you couldn't get it right no matter how much time you spent in the schoolhouse, because the schoolhouse doesn't teach this lesson. Life teaches it. The streets teach it. The evil in the hearts of worms teaches it.
What has a lifetime of passing out in the streets among the worms taught you?
That there's only one type of people. Worms.
We're all worms.
I am not a worm. Worms are gross. I'm not gross.
Cynthia, it's time for us to go do our thing.
What thing?
The thing we do when you've been a naughty little worm.
Oh, yes. Been such a naughty little worm. Bedroom?
I can't dole out a suitable punishment until I examine the crime scene and know the scope of your misconduct, can I?
Yes, goddess. Let me take you to my nest of naughtiness.
Everything good, gang?
When Cynthia gets intimate with someone else near me or in front of me, I punish her for being a loose little worm.
You can't punish her later, like she's got guests?
I must punish her while she's still in the warm, fuzzy aftermath of a significant exchange of bodily fluids.
I see. Well, looks like you better get to it while there's still time.
Time to take.
I just can't wait. I just can't wait to be punished.
I came so many times, I don't even remember why I'm here.
You're investigating the murder of my husband.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, I know why I'm here. I can't even remember why.
Sure. I understand.
Don't humor me. You may be an old friend, but now you're also my client. Our relationship is different. By way of example, I will tolerate patronization from an old friend, but not a client.
Oh, Ferryboat Branton, what would I do without you?
Probably wouldn't know who murdered your husband.
I don't know who murdered my husband.
Yeah, nor do I, but it's my duty to find out, and I always fulfill my duty. Hot or cold, night or day, rain or dry, snow or dry. You just have to wait and see. I will not crumble in the face of adversity. I will, in fact, take a razor and cream and shave the whiskers off the face of adversity, because the truth is often hiding in the whiskers.
You just need to ask the right questions. To rescue the truth held captive by adversity's tentacles. Don't look at me like that.
Okay, you've got words crawling out of your face hole like angels crawling out of their hovels to change the child demon's diaper on a Saturday night, but I can't meaningfully string them together. What are you attempting to communicate?
A response to your comment about adversity concealing the truth.
Oh. It's been so long now, I don't remember what you said.
You just need to ask the right questions.
I said I take a razor and cream and shave adversity's whiskers to uncover the truth.
Well, surely that was but a metaphor.
Don't use figurative language. Ever since I squashed the acting bug with a nobler ambition, question and caught the PI bug in a little jar. I've been under curiosity's potent influence.
But questions are your stock in trade. They illuminate the truth.
Answers beget the truth, not questions.
Questions beget the answers that beget the truth.
That's not true. That is what we're taught in school, right? Raise your hand, wait to be called on, ask a question, get an answer. Have you ever tried to execute that routine in real life? Have you ever walked down the street with your hand in the air, waiting for someone to call on you so you can ask a question and get an answer?
Well, not literally.
Okay, well, I literally have, and it literally doesn't fucking work.
Okay.
Questions are distractions. They're a dime a dozen, but no one carries dimes anymore. Only answers matter. Answers are there, lurking around every corner, lying in wait beneath the brush or a manhole cover, stalking their prey in the night. We all know what answers prey upon. Answers prey upon questions. Answers eat questions at every meal. That's why nobody calls on you when you raise your hand, no matter how high or proud. Questions are defenseless against answers, and I'll tell you why. Questions invariably fall victim to answers because questions don't know answers. Because they don't know answers, they can't get you answers. And when they can't get you answers, they can't get you the truth.
Explain to me how you get answers without questions.
Can't. Trade secret.
But I'm your old friend.
I mean, you're also my client. How do I know you won't make off to a competitor and sell them my trade secret?
Because I'm not just any client, I'm also your friend. And a friend wouldn't sell your trade secret for hard coin.
There's only one answer. It takes many forms, speaks various tongues, wears different hats, achieves diverse aims, and conquers an array of weaknesses, but it is singular. The answer is fear. Always fear. So, if you want to know the truth, follow the fear. Follow the fear until your skin can't accommodate any more goose pimples. Follow the fear until your mind is paralyzed by darkness. Follow the fear until you scream your lungs clean out of your chest. At that point, wherever you are, you'll know the truth.
Interesting premise.
Certainly is.
Do you think Attorney Dolphin's theory about Alice holds water?
Well, it holds more water than I can.
But she didn't know that Frank had amended the will. She knew it was a possibility, but not a certainty.
She could have lied to you.
I don't think so. She tried to tease the information out of me, but I'm awkward, so she just asked me directly.
If she knew he was even considering it, that's called motive.
But killing him would have only made sense if she were absolutely sure he hadn't amended the will yet. Because if he had, killing him would only ensure that he could not amend it further. If Frank had already amended the will, it would have made more sense for Alice to work to repair their conflict, thereby provoking him to change it back.
Fear never makes sense.
She was so close to him, though.
Yeah, they were siblings. Of course they were close. Fratricide isn't a word I just made up right now. It's been around. Look it up in the dictionary sometime. You'll find it there.
They were even closer than most siblings.
Incest. That whole notion.
No, I mean, they endured an inordinate amount of trauma as children.
Yeah, all kids endure trauma. It's called childhood.
I said an inordinate amount of trauma. When Frank was 9 and Alice was 5. Oh, hey! How was your punishment? So fun.
Go on, Lorna.
Oh, no, it's nothing. We were just discussing...
Embalming strategies.
Yeah.
Frank was 9 and I was 5. Our parents, Dean and Nathalie, ate each other in an act of passion.
Big face, you don't have to tell this story now or ever.
You don't like this story?
I find it worthy of interest, but not of sharing.
Well, I would like to hear it. So there you go. Consensus?
Turned out that our parents, who ran a composting business, were cannibals. They lured unsuspecting victims into their trailer, killed them, and ate their flesh. We did not live in this trailer. We lived in a prefab house but they maintained a trailer at the Foley and Jameson Trailer Park about 10 miles up the road. Or was it down? I can't recall.
Did you just catch sight of a dragon or other mythical creature outside the window?
What Dean and Nathalie didn't eat, they composted. That's how they got started. You need a little organic waste to get going in the composting business. At first, they were cautious and clever in their victim selection. People experiencing homelessness, people experiencing drifting, people experiencing biking on the sidewalk, and other folks who were unlikely to Their murderous desires and hunger for human flesh grew, as such predilections are wont to do, and they became more reckless. Garbage person, mail person, pool boy, lesser friends. The police were closing in on them and they knew it, so they decided to take their own lives by fucking and eating each other to death. You'd be shocked by how far they made it.
I imagine being raised by murderous cannibals was horrific.
They were wonderful parents. I missed them so much. What was horrific was the carefully curated collection of emblems of death the police found upon entering Mom and Dad's trailer. They found a linoleum floor stained red with blood. They found a refrigerator filled with ground chuck, ground Peter, ground dip, ground shrimp. They found a freezer with severed limbs where the frozen pizza should have been. And they found cupboards overflowing with shoulder blades, thigh bones, big toe bones, rib cages, fibula, and other leavings of mortality. Police didn't know what to do with Frank and me. They couldn't send us to live with relatives because Dean and Nathalie ate them all. So they sent us to an orphanage. To say we were mistreated there would only contribute to the normalization of pedophilia. The only positive aspect of our experience there was its brevity. In a matter of weeks, we were mercifully adopted by Barbara and Evelyn Pereira, a kinder and more scrupulous pair of octogenarians you could not find.
You were adopted by an 80-year-old lesbian couple?
They were an 80-year-old heterosexual couple.
Oh,
Evelyn was the man.
nice.
By choice, the Pereiras never reproduced. Dinks, if you will. In their final years, and with no one to inherit their wealth, however, they resolved to adopt a pair of children who needed a strong home. They visited our orphanage one day. I recall them strolling about the grounds, pausing to watch various orphans sing, dance, and play laser tag. They saw Frank and me playing patty cake by an artificial pond filled with dead guppies, which they found amusing and comparatively peaceful. The orphanage director, a handsy moron by the name of Carter Porridge, tried to dissuade the Pereiras from adopting his favorite victims of arousal by sharing our lurid backstory, but this only reinforced their belief that they had identified the right urchins for their strong home. Mama and Papa, as I called them, helped us grow up. I'm not talking about laundry lessons or checkbook balancing lessons or punting lessons. I'm talking about emotional maturity lessons. We spent 4 idyllic years with them.
They were parenting on borrowed time. I'm surprised they lasted that long.
Oh, but they didn't die a natural death. As I lay in my bed one cold Christmas-time night dreaming of sweets and kindnesses, unknown thieves broke into our strong home while Mama and Papa were cleaning up the holiday roast and brutally murdered them with a rolling pin, still covered in flour from the cookies they made earlier. Frank, who was catching mice in the basement, was spared.
Did you witness this atrocity?
Slept through it. After the thieves had departed and he could safely come up from the cellar, Frank woke me and told me what had happened. He was so calm. He was so strong.
He was so calm. He was so strong.
He was so calm. He was so strong.
So weird.
Rather than return to the slimy touch of Carter Porridge, we absconded in the night with a few changes of clothes. Despite being only 13 and a decade away from his delayed pubescent years, Frank, with the aid of a fake mustache, was able to convince Jeff Bonetto, the proprietor of a boutique muffin shop in the city that is commonly referred to as Chi-Town, that he was sufficiently aged to manage a cash register. I, having achieved early puberty, on the other hand, became a model for a local boot shop, and earned the custard slimline vision of sex perverts. Catalog model. Print only. On our meager wages, we managed to survive. After a few challenging years of muffins and boots, Frank discovered NFTs and quickly became the NFT wizard. I set up a shop on Etsy's website as a candlestick maker, a passion. As much as I loved my newfound profession, I learned to love inserting the candlesticks I made into the orifices of others even more. Also, small penis humiliation, cock and ball torture, bondage, knee worship, nipple torture, involuntary castration fantasy, forced enemas,
Okay. We get the point.
Lorna, that was rude. Rude.
God, you're sexy.
I'm still passionate about candlestick making, but there's more money to be made in smothering subs with my butt, trampling them with high heels, hanging them from meat hooks, and the like.
Well, this music is sick. Is this Coleman Zurkowski's newer album?
Obviously.
I have yet to listen to it, but his style is unmistakable.
How have you not listened to it yet? It dropped on Spotify on Tuesday.
That's the same day Frank dropped
Oh,
dead
the
on-
same day the inherent violence of Albany Park caused Frank to drop dead on the sidewalk. Yes.
Fuck it, Sid! Albany Park did not kill Frank! A gun killed Frank!
Well, okay, more accurately, a person killed Frank with a gun. I guess.
Alice, who also lives in Albany Park, will tell you that people are not getting shot every day.
Alice lives in East Albany Park.
That is an invented neighborhood, and neither here nor there. A gun can kill you in any neighborhood, even the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast gun owners maintain their guns for defensive purposes. Albany Park gangbangers are imprudent, aggressive, and, will just fire at anything to get their sick little rocks off. Why are you so reluctant to admit it? Are you so concerned with your friends perceiving you as awake that you'll deny an obvious truth?
Awake?
Yeah. You social warriors of justice are always going on about staying awake.
Woke, babe face.
That's wrong grammar. In any case, it's pretty convenient for Frank's starving artist wife that he wound up dead just because you made him live in a poor neighborhood, Lorna.
How is it pretty convenient?
You have unrestricted access to his fortune without facing the challenges of marriage. You can return to bonking punk-style musicians. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming you, I'm just calling it like I see it.
This debate is a pointless waste of breath.
By withdrawing, you're acknowledging that people are more likely to die by gunshot in Albany Park, and therefore, that Frank would still be alive had you not forced him to move there.
For the love of the child demon, we don't know what happened.
What else could have happened?
Like I said, someone he knew could have shot him, in which case the fact that he was in Albany Park would be irrelevant.
Yeah, someone he knew, like his gold-digging wife.
Lorna's not a gold digger. Despite having in-unit laundry, she still wears every pair of underwear both ways to conserve quarters. It's puzzling. Some might fetishize such behavior. I really can't say, and I really don't know.
Did you kill Frank and stage it to look like he was caught in crossfire by also shooting a Japanese maple, 24-hour bakery, and the sidewalk? What a look! Did I hit a nerve? Oh no, did I hit the nail on the clit? Did you plan to kill Frank before making him move to Albany Park, or did this scheme come to you later?
Working on any new plays, Lorna?
We all need fresh drinks. Every last one of us.
I have a new one going up at the Albany Park Playhouse in May.
For your sake, I hope the audiences to get gunned down until after they buy their tickets.
Sin, would you please pour another round for the rest of us?
Even the murderer?
Every last one of us.
The operatic atmosphere of this penthouse suite is gunning me down from the inside out. Guts and blood and skin and bone chips all over the walls. A stucco and paint job from hell.
Could just be the cold air and snow blowing in from the open window.
What's the show?
She said snow.
It's called The Wingsman. It's a contemporary Chicago set retelling of the story of Paul McCartney, told from the perspective of someone who knows nothing about Paul McCartney, except that he was in a band called The Wings.
Wasn't the band just called Wings? No,
It certainly was.
You know there's a reason you've never had a sustainable career as a playwright, don't you?
Yes, because it's impossible.
Then you should give it up! Get a respectable career like my kid sister Alice, who is a candlestick maker.
You know, it's a little weird that you keep referring to her as your kid sister when you two are fucking.
We're having a nice time. We're having a nice time?
Oh, we're having a nice time, babe.
Do not sex partner shame me.
babe, settle.
No, babe, you listen. I am so settled, you could easily fist me and I wouldn't even notice.
Is that an invitation or just a figure of speech?
Oh, for Alice an invitation, for you a figure of speech.
I'll stick around. Never know when your card is gonna come up.
I didn't know you were so into Paul McCartney, Lorna.
I'm not. I like silence.
Little plays would be better that way too. Silent.
You know, Cyn, I don't mean to opinion shame you, but you're being kind of a cunt tonight.
Well, it's my nature to be kind of a cunt. I stress kind of.
So you can be kind of a cunt because that's your nature, but I'm not allowed to have a sense of humor even though that's my nature.
Yeah, correct. Because why? Because I'm kind of a cunt! How can you accuse me of not having a sense of humor, Laura?
Her name is Lorna.
I need to pee.
When a feeble mind can no longer withstand the fear, its spiritual death is imminent.
Yeah.
Well, of course I'm right. I'm an actor. I'm an expert in fear. Also, what in the name of Christmas Johnson just occurred?
The storm must have caused a power outage.
Storm of snow, nowhere to go. The child demon's winter curse.
Cyn? Cyn, are you okay?
The lady answers. Answers not.
I better go check on her.
She probably just can't hear you from the comfort of her private bathroom. I'm sure she's fine.
I don't know about that. With all the Xannies and Malbec flavored wine she's washed down her sorry gullet, she could have slipped and hit her head on the side of the sink or the tub or so much worse.
I'll bite. What is so much worse?
Falling into the toilet would be so much worse.
Death is so much worse.
I don't know about that.
I'll check on her.
Careful you don't fall into the toilet.
It's not even snowing that hard.
Oh, I don't think the snow caused the power outage.
What do you think caused it?
Subterfuge.
Do you hear anything?
Only the deafening silence of fear.
Alice? Cynthia?
Well, now I also hear you yelling.
Alice? Cynthia, are you okay?
That toilet must be a death trap.
I'll be right back.
Stay here with old Ferryboat. Hope she doesn't fall splat into the toilet and flush herself round and round down to the ground.
God, fuck it.
Fuck, babe.
Shit.
Oh, there's no need to call the police, Ferryboat. I already called them, also an ambulance.
Oh, you're a fast dialer.
You know how fast my fingers work.
So you called 911 twice, once for the police and again for the ambulance?
Oh, the police said they'd bring an ambulance.
Oh, that makes some sense. Sounded like a couple of gunshots. Is my assessment accurate?
You're dead on.
Are you gonna tell me what happened? What's the status of Lorna's and Alice's existences?
One must assume when the power went out due to the snowstorm. Alice came to check on me in the washroom. I was, of course, fine. There's an emergency light in the bathroom that switches to battery power. Alice knew that. She just wanted an opportunity to tell me, to warn me, she saw a gun in Lorna's coat pocket. Very out of character for a little social warrior of justice to carry a firearm. Then out of the darkness, Lorna appears with said gun threatening our lives. She admitted to killing Frank. My hypothetical about how Lorna killed him and staged it to look like he was caught in crossfire was so spot on, she actually thought I knew something. Next thing you know, Lorna shoots Alice in the chest with the same gun she murdered her brother with days before. I know this because she said something like, "See this gun? I killed Frank with this gun!" Lorna always had such a flair for the dramatic. While she excitedly watched the life escape Alice's face like one watches a bowel movement escape down the drain, I pounced on her and tried to wrest the gun from her hands. She squeezed the trigger, which resulted in her head blowing clean off! Big mess. We'll have to make do with the powder room until the police remove the bodies and the evidence.
Oh no.
I know.
They're both dead?
Yeah, real shame. I lost my best friend on Tuesday and the love of my life on Friday.
I'm sorry for your losses.
Thanks. At least now I can ride my little ferry boat to the sunset.
Oh, I was and am purely seeking intercourse. These emotions you're displaying are frightening me in a way I haven't been frightened since childhood.
I would love to engage in intercourse with you. There on the couch, together.
It is an odd time for intercourse.
I just find violence so exhilarating, you know?
Police should be here soon, no?
No, they said they'd be here within 30 to 45 minutes.
That range strikes me as irresponsible.
Well, since Lorna is no longer a threat on account of death, and her victim Alice cannot be saved also on account of death, they said that the situation was under control and no longer constituted an emergency.
Are you sure Alice is dead? Perhaps I should have a look.
Oh, yes, I am certain. Lorna shot her right in the heart. Although Alice gave her heart to me, it still resided in her chest.
That's a beautiful image.
I loved her oh so much.
So, Lorna shot Alice in the chest and then, amid a struggle for the gun, shot herself in the head?
That's how it happened, correct, exactly.
Something doesn't make sense in my own mind.
Well, you do have a unique mind.
Thanks, but my experience contradicts your version of events.
How so?
I heard Lorna exclaim, "God, fuck it," and then a shot.
Yes, I believe she exclaimed, "God, fuck it," before pulling the trigger and blowing her head clean off.
Only natural. After that, I'm confident that I heard Alice shriek and yell, "What the fuck, babe?"
I remember that.
I thought you said she died first.
Well, she was shot first, but she didn't die immediately.
The shot preceding her shriek was the first shot I heard. It wasn't until after she yelled, "What the fuck, babe?" that the second shot made itself known to me. Do you see what I mean? see how your story is at odds with
I won't worry about it! Alright? Everything happened quickly, and your experience is limited to hearing it from afar. All right? Your unique mind, Ferryboat, is just mixing up the order of events.
Must be. You two made a cute and sociable couple. Reminded me of my parents, a typical couple that still breeds.
Well, that's very sweet of you to say, especially since you were a rival for my affections.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. You're leaping overboard again. Listen, I just thought you knew your way around a girl's holes, and I was right. I was simply seeking an orgasm to warm my cockles.
Aren't you gonna pour yourself a whiskey?
I hadn't considered it. I will consider it now.
Why don't you pour us both fresh drinks?
Okay, where's your glass?
Bathroom.
Oh, I'll get it.
Oh, no, there's brain matter on it. I would really prefer a fresh one.
Where's the fresh glass?
Top shelf at the bottom. Sin roll back. Lots of ice, please.
It's coming right up. Doop, doop, doop.
Remember my ferryboat, I want lots and lots and lots of ice.
Right, thanks. Hey, the ice is melted. It's just water now.
Oh, go figure. I'll go get another tray.
I can get
Oh,
it.
no. I don't mind. Just pour yourself a drink in the meantime.
Won't say no. Everything is different now. Cynthia! Cynthia! Where the fuck did you go, lady? Are you in the bedroom waiting for me, wet and troubled? The time has come for ferryboats to peace the fuck out.
The time has come for
Chris,
ferryboat
across
to
the
You're a dog shit actor, Ferryboat Branton.
Not an actor at all. I'm a private detective.
Yeah, I fucking know. Are you okay?
Rattled, but okay. You saved my life even though I kept you harder than a gym test on material you missed because you snuck around back to smoke a J, so that's big of you.
I don't know if you're a bad actor trying to play a private detective, or a bad private detective going undercover as an actor. Still, this latest incident of extreme violence in my life has rendered me attracted to you and whatever nonsense you're perpetuating in ways that I find upsetting.